I would request the senior most faculty of the department, Professor Nandita Babu, to please welcome Professor I.N. Singh and Venerable Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul. And one from my side. My university believes that we should be conservative in unnecessary expenses, my dear students. So we welcome sir. This is very symbolic. Please consider this as a book. I welcome from the Department of Psychology on behalf of the Department of Psychology to the department, and thank you for coming here.
I would now like to invite the Dean, Faculty of Arts, Professor Indra Narain Singh, to welcome our guest speaker with the Angavastra.
Sir, please.
मैं वहाँ चला गया. Thank you. Thanks.
Sir. But they will take a photo. You have to give it to him.
I would now like to invite Sir to formally welcome our guest speaker.
Respected Damdul ji, Madam Nandita ji, Professor Babu, and sir, and Dinesh. I welcome you all students. The first time I am saying that you all are all together to listen about what is Buddhist philosophy. Because the Buddhist psychology, Indian psychology, if you will read so many original texts, you will find that whole analysis of mind, body and soul has been defined in our ancient text, which is written in Pali. First time Lord Buddha had prescribed so many paths to get emancipation, how to get emancipation, how to solve your psychological problem. Because their first philosophy was how to see suffering. In root cause of whole world was suffering. So he has given stress on what is suffering. And he propounded so many theories, because Four Noble Truths is what is suffering, what is cause of suffering, and how to cease suffering, and what is path to leading to the cessation of suffering. Then one very important text, Avedham Pitak, which analyzed four major issues of human mind. Chit, Chetsik, Roop, Nibbana. Means consciousness, psychic factor, matter and body. And then their philosopher started writing so many books, and every book is written in their main theme was psychological analysis of mind. And last philosopher who became very famous was Nagarjuna. He had propounded Madhvika theory, that neither this extreme nor this extreme. So he propounded new theory, and that theory is called as fourfold dialectics, Chatuskoti Dvandanya. And through this analysis, he proved that mind can do what mind can give solution. If you will find that there is a path, mindfulness is written in Dignikai, and Professor Damdul Sarji is expert of Mahayana philosophy, because whole Tibet follows two paths. One is Yogacharya school, another is Madhvika school. I don't know from which school you are. But basically, he will elaborate all these things, and you all will get enlightenment, and you will develop your interest towards Buddhist text, where you will find there is ample evidence of psychological analysis of everything. And in Hinduism, this is first school who developed this methodology, because theory of vipassana, meditation, everything is a part of Buddhism. Logic and philosophy, everything. And Damdul is expert of this subject. He will give you good lecture, and you all will get enlightenment, and you all will feel happy. Thank you, sir. I am inviting you. Give your good lecture to our students.
I would now like to invite Kamala, a research scholar from our department, to share a formal introduction of our esteemed guest speaker, Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul.
Good morning, everyone. Respected guest speaker, Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul, Dean Sir, Head Ma'am, professors, and guests, and scholars. So, as mentioned, today we all have gathered here for a special talk about the topic of Buddhist psychology, map of mind, cognitive and affective transformation for mental health and well-being. So, as our Dean Sir mentioned, the Buddhist psychology is an increasingly emerging topic, especially in the psychological research field. And today, scholars from Eastern and Western both study about this topic, and especially it has become a very profound topic to discuss here today. That's why our Department of Psychology has invited our guest speaker today, and here I would like to give a brief introduction to our guest speaker, Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul. So, Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul currently serves as the director of the Tibet House, New Delhi, the cultural center of His Holiness Dalai Lama. Venerable Geshe has an outstanding academic and scholarly background. In 1988, he joined the Institute of Buddhist Dialects in Dharamshala, and he obtained his formal training in Buddhism, logic, philosophy, and epistemology. And he obtained his Geshe degree, similar to PhD, in 2002 from Drapan Monastic University, and he further pursued his studies on tantric studies also. In 2003, he entered Cambridge University for advanced English studies, and he served as a visiting fellow at Girton College, Cambridge University. And also, from 2005, he has been serving as the official translator and interpreter of His Holiness Dalai Lama, and he has contributed significantly to the translation of, including Nagarjuna Padha's Mulamadhyamika Karika and Sadhudeva Padha's Bodhicharya Avatara. And from 2011, Venerable Geshe is working as the director of the Tibet House, New Delhi, and he has profound knowledge and experience about psychology also. He has worked with the leading psychologists as like Paul Ekman, and he has contributed with many publications, namely The Journey into Paradox of Brain and Mind and What Concept of Ultimate Reality. And also he works as a lecturer also, visiting fellow in the University of Delhi, in the Department of Psychology, Philosophy and Buddhist Studies also. And also he is delivering lectures in different countries including India, UK, USA and Singapore. So, Venerable Sir, we are truly honored and fortunate to have you here and to hear from you all. So, with deep respect and honor, we now invite Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul to deliver the speech and share your insight with us. Thank you.
Okay, welcome you all to this talk, and respected Professor Singh, the Dean of the Tibet House, and also we have Professor Niji, the HOD of the Psychology Department, and all the professors, and students, and guests. It's a great honor for me to be here, and when I was at the parking lot, there were two girls who Professor Omiji sent to escort me. If you're here, raise hands. There was one over there, Adia. And there's another one. Okay. So basically, on the way, we are just talking about the casual things. And then I told them that I was here in the university, psychology department, before you were born. So all the Western Girls students here, it's a great honor for me to see you here after like how many years?
2009.
Almost like 17 years, no, before that, 2008. 2008 and 9 also. Twice I came here, and maybe the boys and girls, they were crying. Or you're not yet born. Okay, so there was time Dr. Ashwin Gupta, you was HOD, yes. Okay, to make it short, by the way, first I have to know how much time I have. How long should I be talking? How long? 1 hour. Okay, it's 11:30 at the moment, so 1 hour. I would rather be more happy to entertain questions from the students and faculties, because this will help us more rather than unilaterally talking, and it may make sense, it may not make sense. So instead, I'll give a talk for about like 40 minutes, and the remaining time I would entertain questions. Okay. So having said this, first of all, sorry. First of all, the psychology, study of psychology is all about the psyche. So, with this in mind, and why do we have to study psychology? These are any questions. So, these are all the questions that I would take for granted that all of us know about, inquired. So, the first thing is that the sustainable development. So, if you look at the broader spectrum of the benefit, the purpose of studying psychology, so look at this, the SDGs set forth by the WHO. So here, the 17 of them were established And we see that it talks about the well-being, the mental well-being. So here it says it is a state of complete physical and mental and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Meaning that, so when we talk about well-being, it's not just that you're physically fit and fine, it's your psyche. Physically you may be fit and fine, but mentally you are disoriented, stressed, anxiety, depressed, and so forth. So this is where you are not really considered as having the state of well-being. So some key facts, and I may as well leave this PowerPoint presentation with you, with your HUD, and you feel free to get them. You get it for yourself, a copy for yourself. So I'm going to just quick skip some of them. It's just about the kinds of what kind of mental problems the world is facing, which the UNO considers very important. So the whole list is given there. And then the anxiety in teens. Okay, so it's related to the clinical psychology. So this is a very important part. So this is where we need to work on. So psyche, the mind. So when I use the word mind, for example, the mind, the English word, is borrowed from, it's a language, from English. So therefore, we need to, in the Asian culture, we need to make sure that we exactly know what it refers to. In a specific context, the word originally originated in original place, and now how that is borrowed in a particular context, in the Asian context, say in the Buddhist context. So usually I don't really want to use the word Buddhist psychology, because that these are the universal facts. And then your job is to check that if it is of any relevance. And if it is of some relevance, accept it. If there is no relevance, discard it. This is as simple as that. So with this mind, the first thing is, what is the psyche? What's the mind? When it's a mind, I'm talking about the empirical mind. I'm not talking about the abstract concept, rather empirical mind. Empirical mind meaning where the UNO considers very important that the mind must be stable. So mental well-being is very important. So mind in the context of the mental well-being as stipulated by UNO. So in that context, not in the context of salvation, enlightenment, and no, not in the context. I'm happy, I'm not happy, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling depressed. So the physical, I'm fine, but I'm not fine. Mental, I'm stressed, I'm very sad. So for example, the UPSC exams. How many of you think of that? Raise hands. UPSC exam. How many of you think of that? Raise hands. Maybe in the future I have to join UPSC exam. Raise hands. Very serious, right? And gives you stress. I know it gives you stress, right? It looks so charming, very tempting, enticing, but then you should dump the air, then your hair is fall off. It's very stressful. It's very, very stressful. So physically, and then now I'm totally incapacitated. I can't do anything. You go to a hospital and doctor says that all parameters are fine, perfect. Dr. Guru is here, isn't it? And doctor says that everything is fine for you. What's the problem? It's not a physical problem, it's a mental problem. You getting it? And this is so serious. So having said this, the question is, what is mind? This is a very serious matter. So once you know what mind is, then you will, once you know what mind is, not according to this tradition, that tradition, no, the reality. For example, say, I have the mic here. What is mic? According to the Jainism, mic means this. No, mic is mic. We are getting into reality. Don't try to speak about it in terms of this tradition, that tradition. No, it's about the reality. So therefore, what is mind? Mind is something which we universally, it exists universally in each one of us. I'm talking about the empirical mind. mind which you experience, which I experience. I'm sad, I'm happy. Oh, he's very smart, she's very smart. Oh, I'm not so intelligent. I'm very intelligent, I'm not intelligent. But it's all related to your mind. And don't try to bring your concepts of mind from different traditions. You're getting it? Different, oh, mind means this, according to this tradition, this. Just forget about all this and whatever you learned. Don't unlearn that. Just keep them separately. Don't bring them here. At the moment, what I'm talking about is mobile is mobile. Don't talk about Buddhist mobile or Christian mobile. Mobile is mobile. Otherwise, mind is mind. You have mind, you're sad, you're happy. Descartes said, what? I think, therefore, I am. I think, I'm thinking. I'm thinking. That faculty which thinks. That faculty which thinks. So, how many of you have that thinking faculty which thinks? How many of that? I'm not asking what religion they'll be following. I'm not asking which department you are in. I'm just getting anybody who's thinking. Right? Okay, anybody who is thinking, I should not raise my hand. Right? Why should I raise my hand? It's a very simple question. Why should I raise my hand? You're thinking. Oh yes, I should raise my hand. You're thinking. Whether you're raising your hand or not raising your hand, both you are thinking. So there is an agent which makes you think, which is actually a thinking agent. That is known as mind. This is empirical mind. It's a reality. When this goes wrong, then all mental hospitals are set up by the government. Crores and crores, millions of dollars are used to make sure that the mental health, the mental hospitals, they're taken care of, they are supported, so that the people are benefited not physically, mentally. So this mental element is there. That is mind. Now you may wonder, but I can't see that. Neuroscientists, they can see the synaptic connections. They can see the various transmitters, electrical transmitters, chemical transmitters. They can see the synaptic connections. They can see the neurofilings. But they don't see the mind. Where is this mind? This is a big question, particularly psychologists. Whether you are doing the behavioral psychology or clinical psychology, whatever psychology that you're doing, you have to know what this mind is. Not from the point of view, not necessarily from the point of view of the Sigmund Freud, not necessarily from the point of view of the, what is that? The Carl Jung, but a reality. How? So what is that mind which everybody has? And UNO, WHO considers very important well-being, mental well-being. So there's mind, when it goes wrong, the well-being is lost. And then we have to build all these hospitals, mental hospitals, all of them made to take care of that mind. What is that mind? You can learn it from any tradition, neuroscience, from the cognitive science, from the various, the Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, Jainism, Buddhism, Baha'i, whoever offers understanding of mind, just try to learn from this and see if it makes sense to you. You're getting it? Simply because it's taught by somebody doesn't mean that it should make sense. It should actually correlate with the reality. Psychology, you're supposed to learn the reality. You're not to learn the fantasy, a fancy phenomena taught by somebody, and you have to believe in it. No, don't ever believe in things if you're not convinced. So, but when I say that, if you're not convinced, don't believe in things. It doesn't mean that discount everything, because today's software, very sophisticated softwares, they will not work with a computer's 50 years old computer. You agree with me? Today's software will not work, cannot be operated in a computer of 50 years old. Why? For that software to be usable, the computer must be upgraded. Sometimes, quantum mechanics is extremely sophisticated. At the time of Newton, it was taught. People cannot digest that this is physics. But today, there's a whole paradigm shift with the development of the hardware of the human being's brain. Now, the software of the Niels Bohr, Heisenberg, these software start to operate. They make sense today. You getting it? So what I'm saying is that simply because the things you may not understand it now doesn't mean that it should be discarded. But there are things which are totally outdated, which doesn't make any sense. So these things, even if they are taught by some many, many years ago, if you know that it's 100% wrong, just discard it. So, what is mind? Don't go according to this. No, it's a, you have a mind. Don't say that, okay, what breakfast you have? Oh, according to Einstein, I ate this. According to this, the Jesus Christ, I ate this. No, you know what you've eaten. You getting it? You know. So all these scientists, all these sages, sayings, they are to help us to recognize the reality with you. So your job is to know the reality. With the help of these information, your job is to know the reality yourself. In other words, always keep aside the blind faith. This is the message. So having said this, the next question is, what is mind? This is a very serious question, and I would say that this mind, if you really go deeper into this, beyond what today we call as the clinical psychology, just to clinically help somebody, if you go a little beyond this, even your clinical psychological skills can become very sophisticated, extremely effective. Many times, the clinical psychologists, when they apply whatever they've learned from the PhD programs, they see that it's not really that beneficial to the clients. But when they know the psyche, what the psyche is, what the mind is so well empirically, then their application skills they develop is so profound that the clients can be benefited instantly. Okay, so having said this, on the question about what is mind, this is a very important point. So the question is, what is mind? What is mind? So very quick, and if you want to study more, I'll be very happy to share more about this. What is mind? But as I said earlier, what is presented? What I present, you don't need to take it too literally. You're getting it? Just learn it. Don't be quick to accept. Don't be quick to reject. Just learn it and then subject this to analysis, inquiry, and see if it makes sense. If it makes sense, adopt it. If it's 100%, it doesn't make any sense, discard it. So this should be our approach. You can simply because it's coming from somebody, it doesn't mean anything. It may be helpful, it may not be helpful. Okay, what is mind? The point is that I, as much as possible, try to stay away from blind faith, including blind faith in modern science. Quantum mechanics, people say this is brilliant science. But how many physicists actually know quantum mechanics? They follow just mathematical formulation, derivatives, all according to what Einstein said, or Niels Bohr said. Just follow them blindly. You getting it? So the idea is that as much as possible, try to stay away from blind faith. This is very important. Always make sure that you have an incredible potential to know the reality. Use your faculty to the maximum to see what you've learned tallies with your experience, your knowledge and experience. This is very important. Okay, this is mind. What is mind? Mind, in the loose sense, and very quickly, because I have the major part of my talks left, and I have only another like half an hour. So, what is mind? Mind is not a physical entity. If it's a physical entity, then neuroscientists, they will be easy to define it. Neuroscience cannot define it. So earlier, at one point, there's a concept known as the qualia. Concept known as qualia, Q-V-A-L-I-A, qualia. And which even the scientists, they picked up this concept. It's a subjective experience. So later, modern science should be such that it should be quantifiable. It should have evidence by the third person. And above all, it should be mathematically formidable. You should be able to formulate this by mathematical means. If none of these is fulfilled, then they will just rule it out. They'll keep it aside from the non-science. So therefore, then the concept of qualia was dropped because nobody can measure it. Nobody can quantify it. It's purely subjective experience. You are happy. It's your experience. Nobody can say that you are happy. And nobody can measure your happiness. And nowadays there are some measures created. You say that he happy or not happy, not too sure. But it's done. That's also very good. Okay. But scientifically speaking, today's hardcore science will say that even this what we see as a measure to check the measure of the happiness so far is so soft. It's not really solid. Okay. Having said this, mind is not a physical entity. It is defined as a clear and knowing agent. Clear, C-L-E-A-R, clear, and knowing, cognitively knowing agent. Clear and cognitively knowing agent. And they, if you're interested, I'm not going to go into detail with this itself. It's a huge topic. So if you're interested in this, I'll be happy to give you some, information. Later on, you can watch the YouTube. Okay, that's available, and you can check with the Dr. Urmilaji, and she has access to the Tibet House information. Or just say www.tibethouse.in. www.tibethouse.in. You just go there, and if nothing was, just write a letter saying that please send me the teaching links on mind, on the map of the mind, then they will send you, www.tibethouse.in. And just check from there. If you don't get anything, don't worry, send a letter. Send a letter saying that your director came to our office, the campus, and he promised, so now I'm asking for this. They will send you. Pretty good. I'm not going to go too much into detail of this. But this is very, if you really know what mind is, you can see your own mind. You can see your own mind. There are techniques to see your own mind. I'm saying this, you must check it on your own. Don't just believe in what I'm saying. It's very important. Now next, the map of the mind. So some people are very kind, some people are very nasty, some people very smart, some people not smart, some people can be very comprehensive, some people not too comprehensive, very localized in their thinking, some people are very selfish, narcissists, some people are altruistic. So why this? It's all because of the mental functions, how the mind functions, and the mind functions differently to different people. And your question can be, why the mind functions different to some individuals and still different to others. So why? Then the deeper analysis comes into play. So these you can inquire. These are very important inquiry. In fact, all the questions should not be stopped. All the questions should not be stopped. You must, the more you are able to ask questions, the more your intelligence will grow, the more you become mature. Okay, so they are the same. While innumerable functions, there is not that Buddha taught it. No, you know this. For example, say somebody talks on sophisticated topics. You know, some smart girls, smart boys, they're very good in this. I'm not really good at comprehend all these things. But somebody talks about, say, one specific area about, say, let's say, about mathematics. Oh, this person is good at mathematics, not so good in physics. Physics requires creativity. Mathematics does not require creativity. It just requires meticulous calculation. That's it. Pure computational skill. It's very different. And some people, they can be more focused. And some people, the focus is not there. But they're very comprehensive. You're getting it? Some people, they're multitasker. And some people, they study, and there's the food they put in the kettle, they rice on, and rice burns, still they still book. And the whole room filled with the smoke, still doesn't know. No multitasking. You're getting it? All these are mental functions. Some people, they are very strong in one particular, there's a strength in one area of the mental function, weaker in other. And others are strong in others and weaker in this area. So you have to know your own thing, and then you can cultivate it. And it's not that, okay, no, I don't have this is my intrinsic weakness. No, there's no intrinsic weakness. Everybody has 100% potential. That it is like, they say, the water. We say that we do what's called bore well. Bore well, sometimes you have to dig deeper. Sometimes just take like 50 meters, water comes up. Sometimes 150 meters, still the water is not coming. This water is here. So some people, their potential requires more effort to dig out, and some people just with little effort can be done. So therefore, all of us have the potential, full potential. But simply because that you put X amount of effort, and some people already they know so many things, you don't know, it doesn't mean that you don't have the potential. You have the potential, you may require more effort and more precise effort, not just effort, precise effort. So don't forget young people. So it says that, I think, who said it? I think it was one of the American presidents, John Kennedy, I think. John Kennedy. What he said is that you want to fly with you want to fly as high as the eagles. If you want to fly with the eagles, don't swim with the fish. You're going to swim with the fish, you're not fly. But aim to fly, and then you see the fish swimming, you also swim, you will never fly. In other words, that the idea is that you want to really shine in your potential. You have to know precisely what effort to put in. Just putting some effort doesn't mean that your potential will be awakened. Your potential, the effort that you put must be in line with the potential that you want to awaken. Okay, so with this mind, there are so many functions. You identify these, and just for information that these are things, reality of our mind. And these are all can be studied, this information available, just for you to get, these are not my main things, but all these, the divisions, how the mind works, and different functions are there. And as the Venerable, during the introduction of when he was introducing me, he talked about Professor Paul. So all these 51, 300 of such mental functions were identified in the Buddhist psychology. And Professor Paul, who was totally agnostic, he's not atheist, but he's agnostic, was very neutral in acceptance of God. He doesn't believe in religion. As his personal choice, he doesn't believe in religion. But he had like 54 hours of interview with His Holiness the Dalai Lama on psychology within the span of like 3 or 4 years. So within the span of 3 or 4 years, he had this number of hours in the interview with His Holiness. And now it came in the form of the book known as Emotional Awareness. And of course, he's extremely brilliant psychologist, Professor Obiji knows about him. By the way, how many of you know Professor Paul Ekman? You heard about him recently? Professor Paul Ekman. Paul Ekman? Yes. So his book, Emotional Awareness, this is actually the book that's an outcome of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Professor Paul Ekman. The interview for like 54 hours within a span of 3 or 4 years' time. Okay, so here it's all about the functions of the mind. How many different functions of mind? So we have stipulated here 51, and then there are many more of them, like 300 of them. So these you must read that book if you're interested in that topic. So these are all the different the divisions of the mental functions. These are all the functions, particularly to check the behavior of other people. Engaging inside the clinical psychology, you have to know the person's mind so well, thinking, functions. And all these functions are deliberated, delineated so well. Okay, so with this in mind, the next question is managing your emotions. How do you manage emotions? So it says, okay, so the managing emotions, that how many of you feel stressed sometimes, resentment, stress, very sad, oftentimes crying, okay, including crying, resentment, including crying, okay, good. A pleasant cry, pleasant or not pleasant? Crying is good. Do you like it? Yeah. You feel sad, do you like it? Yeah. I feel happy to be sad. Today I'm very excited about being sad. No one, particularly psychology, Islamic psychology don't say that. everybody will, oh, it's coming from the psychologists. We should become sad. They are saying that it's happy to be sad. No, don't say this, ever don't say that. Say something sensible. Otherwise, Department of the Psychology and the DV people making this is not a psychology, this is the crazy, like, to be happy or the sadness. No, it doesn't make sense. Be sensible. Okay, having said this, the thing is that how to manage emotions. This is the point. So for this, after this, I'm going to quickly jump on this area, manage the emotions. Manage the emotions, we see that, for example, let's say that how many agree with me? For example, like, I meet Professor here, your name?
Nandita.
Professor Nandita, I met her years ago. During the Ashwin Gupta time, we met already. So before you were born, before the students were born, I met Professor Nandita. So what I'm saying is that, let's say that after many years, I see Professor Nandita. So my mind feels not like a stranger. I feel calm. Oh, there's something who I know so well, many years. So it's purely cognitive activity. You're getting it? Purely cognitive activity. And then coming here, okay, there's at least somebody here, and Professor Urmiji, who I met 2000. 11, 12 there, and so her students, so one of her favorite students, I pushed her to become PhD, to do PhD. So that time her student was doing the teaching, finished her master's, and not doing PhD. I said, what are you doing? I'm teaching, professor. And what's your degree? Master's. Why not PhD? She said, no, I don't want to do it. I said, you have to do it. I pushed her, and now she's a PhD. So if any boys and girls not want to do PhD, I'll push you. I'm just Dr. Urmiji. You hearing it? Dr. Nandiji also. All of you. Okay, so jokes aside, saying that I see Professor Nandiji okay, I know her many years ago. I feel calm. It's a purely cognitive activity. There's nothing from Professor Nandiji going to my mind. It's purely cognitive activity. Your mind has one cognitive element and the other affective element. Cognitive and affective. So cognitive, I see Professor Nandiji, then the past memory is triggered, present memories are triggered, and then the affectively my mind calms down. Movement of the mind is into the affective state. So anxiety, the mind jumps. Anxiety mind jumps. And it becomes prolonged. It can turn into depression. So it's purely there's a cognitive element there. So this cognitive element, we need to learn. So for example, say, I come here, I thought that today it's going to be very different environment. I'll be very happy. I don't have to face my colleague, very complicated colleague affairs. You getting it? So I'm here. And my colleague also thought the same way. Today I'm going to go to Delhi University. I learned that there's someone who's going to give a talk. My colleague, he did not know I wasn't giving the talk. My colleague thought that I'm going to run away from this complicated person. So where? To Delhi University. Someone's giving a talk. And the person comes here, and I came, heart starts palpitating, tick. It's the same complicated person. You're getting it? So I'm trying to run away from that person. That person was trying to run away from me is purely cognitive. The cognitive activity determines the state of my mind. This is the one thing that we need to keep in mind. As psychologists, don't always talk about psychology. You should also be aware of the cognitive activity of mind, cognitive science, cognitive activity. These are very closely related. Now with the cognitive ability, for example, say, I see Professor Nandiji, and then I see deeper into Professor Nandiji, the chromosomes, DNA molecules, and so forth. And then I could see even deeper quantum entanglement playing there. As the reality goes deeper, cognitively becomes deeper, my psyche becomes more profound. It's because of this that Archimedes, what happened? Hey, Archimedes, what happened to the scientist? He jumped off his bathtub and naked into the street, said, Eureka! Why? He forgot that he was naked. Because he was overly excited by the discovery of reality which is so profound. Buoyancy. So amazed by the subtlety of the reality that it discovered that cognitively it was so profound that it affects his mind to forget that he was naked. He jumped into the street. Eureka. You're getting it? So this is how the mind is connected with the cognitive activity. So with the cognitive activity, then the ontological reality. It's not just only the epistemological or the psychological, but also the ontological reality. That is so important for the psychology students to take note of. You also have to put in the ontology, what constitutes the reality out there, not only what constitutes the functions and the map of the mind, but the ontology, what constitutes the reality. So with this, as the reality, the discovery of the reality becomes deepened, then the psyche becomes more stable and more grounded, very rewarding, and the cure comes so fast. Clinically speaking, the cure comes so fast. Okay, so this is what I'm saying is that say it is like, okay, all of us, put your hands out, put your hands out, put your hands out, okay, do what I'm doing. Okay, it's a very simple exercise. Two hands come into being, two hands come in contact, and the sound of a clap erupts. Sound of the clap is the metaphor for the problems that we go through. The problems that we go through. These problems should necessarily have two factors, external factors and internal factors, which were symbolized by the two hands. Where the two hands come together, invariably we will erupt into stress, anxiety, anguish, depression, being judgmental. All these things happen. And by being judgmental, you are not rewarded. You are not rewarded. It attracts miseries on you. It attracts pains on you. By being judgmental, you will see that friends will disappear. And you will become isolated. And we are a social animal. We cannot survive on our own. So therefore, all these are the wrong thought processes which communicate together with the internal factor. External factors, how many external factors, for example, how many of your problems in your life presents? How many of you have problems in your life presents? Okay, how many of you are, okay, everything is so beautiful, amazing, Delhi pollution, no problems. AQI, 800, it's fine. It's fine. In the world, it's not there. So we have it, it's amazing. Right? But how many of us, the problems in your life presents? Problems in our life presents? One, two, some problems, some very severe problems. I try to know. Okay. Say, is anyone would like to share the problem? Quick, I like minimum 2 or 3 of the volunteers to share your problems. Quick. Anyone, quick, just say time.
Problems,
Any problem.
isolation.
Problem isolation. Your friends isolating you.
Yeah.
Yes, your friends are isolating you. Because your friends want to go for drugs. They know that you don't want to go to drugs. They know that you don't want to go to drugs. So that if I'm with this boy, then he will just spoil my day. He will not go to drugs. Then I also will not go to drugs. So he will spoil my fun. So that I should not go with him. Be yourself, So anyone else, quick. Anyone else? Hey, to save time. You have minimum materials to a couple of years.
But they really want future career, what to do.
What the future? Uncertainty. Uncertain life. What the future? Okay. Okay, future, right? That I can get through UPSC. Right? Or that I can get through Nimhans. Yes? Nimhans, no. Okay. Anyone else? Last. Yes.
Problem of the mind. I don't like how the mind functions all the time.
No, so for example, your compassion. Since with Albert Einstein's amazing mind, brilliant. What's wrong with this? What's wrong? Mahatma Gandhi's courage to save the nation. What's wrong with these minds? Some minds are very complicated, very disturbing. I know you mean those minds. Okay, go over here. Yes. Yes.
As a new education policy.
No. Okay, look. Now did you all agree with me? that here my friends are actually friends. External factor, internal factor. External factor. New education policy, external, internal. External, right? My career, right? What to my future? UPSC without being enrolled. UPSC exam. The external, internal. External. Meanwhile, who is having the problem? I have the problem. I, that's internal, and all others external. You're getting it? So these two come together, misery is erupt, stress, anxiety erupts. So now, how to protect? How to protect? How many external factors are there? Tell me, quick. Huh? Multiple, innumerable. Presents, we agree with Dr. Murrow, that innumerable external factors. And external factors, how innumerable? In the first place, say, even what is considered as favorable factors, they can also become unfavorable factors. For example, like, say, in the hostels. How many are in the hostels, presents? How many are in the hostels, presents? Okay, say you're in a hostel, and then you're the, what do you call it, hostel warden? Hostel warden says that you will stay with this person. So, sir or ma'am, I have no privacy. Then, okay, then you can be in single room. I'm feeling lonely. You're getting it? So, external factors, in the first place, innumerable external factors. Even the conducive factors, they also become non-conducive for you when your thinking is wrong. So, external factors innumerable, internal factors is much less. So, who's wiser? Somebody, okay, now only put out one hand. One hand out. One hand out. Okay, now. I am not expecting a naughty boy, naughty girl slapping somebody else. Alright? For the schools, I have to give the warning, don't be naughty. So here at the university level, I'm not expecting this. If it happens, you have to go back to school. So the point is that with one hand, no matter how strong, no sound from the misery stops. So therefore, this psychology with respect to eradicating our problems, dealing with the problems, to stop the problems is top 1 of 2 factors. We cannot best, we can remove both factors, but nobody could exterminate the external factors. For example, like first, Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, they came. World, external factors, same. Just then the Buddha came, the first Lord Mahavira came. He could not eradicate all the external factors. Buddha came, he could not succeed in eradicating all the external factors. Then Jesus Christ came, not succeed. Then Guru Nana came, not succeed. Mahavira, maybe little before Guru Nana came, he could not. All the great teachers, they could not remove the external factors. They did not come on the planet Earth to remove the external, fix the external factors. They came on planet Earth to teach us how to fix the internal factors. You getting it? So, of the two, you remove the internal factor, then even if the external factors are there, no sound of your misery stops. Finally, end is more important than the means. Stopping the factors is the means, and to stop your miseries is the end. You're getting it? There's a goal. So they came here to accomplish a goal, not necessarily to provide you all the means, but the means to bring the goal into play. Okay, so with this in mind, our job is to see there's one great Indian master. You must, if you are really going to this psychology line, you must keep this book on your table all the time. The book by the great Indian master, Bodhisattva Shanti Deva. Shanti Deva. You must keep this book. It's purely psychology. It's related to the clinical psychology. And then beyond that, it's very profound psychology. You must keep that book with you. The title of the book is known as, the title of the book is A Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. A Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. You just Google search Shanti Deva, this book will come out. A Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. So what is that? What's that? Okay, now just see if it makes sense. What is that is that if you want to walk around Delhi University barefooted, and you say that, but the petals, the broken glasses can prick your feet. So I should I should cover the entire Delhi University with leather. I should cover the entire Delhi University campus with leather. Or the entire world with the leather. Would you get enough leather to cover that? No. But it is wise to cover 2 tiny feet with 2 tiny leather. Walk. That suffices to cover the entire earth with leather. Does it make sense? This is exactly what Buddhist Psychology said. That don't try to fix the world. Fix yourself. That's like covering your 2 feet with the 2 tiny leather. Walk. That suffices covering the entire earth with the leather. So this is what Buddhist Psychology says. Where would I possibly find enough leather with which to cover the entire surface of the earth? Yet wearing leather just to cover the soles of my feet is equivalent to covering the entire earth with that. This is the teaching of this great teacher. You must, if you're interested in this really deeper psychology, you must keep this book with you at all times. Read it, you will see so many diamonds, gems there in this book. Okay. So the approach is don't follow blindly. Don't follow blindly. This is what the Buddha taught. Or bhikshu is a wise person. Just as goldsmith tests the purity of the gold by cutting rather than burning gold, you should also examine my words and put them to practice, not simply because you respect me. Just out of respect, okay, this is what is said in the great Buddha's teaching. No, this will not help you. For example, I give the metaphor that you want to become a Nobel laureate in physics. You come to know that 3 years ago, Professor Andrew Zelenka, he became a Nobel laureate in physics. Why no? So well, before he became a Nobel laureate, he became a Nobel. Oh, I also want to become a Nobel laureate, and you recite Om. What is that? Buddha's mantra. Om Mani Mani Mahamana Buddha. You recite the Buddha mantra. Please, Buddha made me Nobel laureate in physics. You recite the mantra for 50 years, 60 years. Do you think that you can become Nobel laureate in physics? No, no matter how much you put effort to recite mantra, go to temple, pay 10 rupees, please make me a Nobel laureate, it will never happen. If you really want to become Nobel laureate in physics, what should you do? Study physics. You're getting it? This is a practical way. Blind faith, there's no room for you to become a Nobel laureate in physics. You have to study physics. So likewise, the message given is that the wise that led the bhikshus, just as goldsmith tests the purity of the gold by cutting rather than burning the gold, you should also examine my words and put them to practice, not simply because you respect me. Okay. So, finally, the psychology is purely to stop the problems of the world, to stop the stress, anxiety, tears. These are some examples given. And things may appear so nice outside. Deep inside, there's so much tears. These are the realities of tears. I'm just showing you some examples. Then the question is there a cure for this problem? Is there a cure? Let's listen to what Charles Darwin had to say. Charles Darwin, what is that? What's that? Okay, that was in America. I was working with Professor Portman, whose book I mentioned. What's the book's name? Emotional Awareness. I was working on that book. In fact, it was the book of His Holiness. Primarily, the thoughts were of His Holiness, and Professor Portman put his own input there, additional input. And then the Office of His Holiness sent me to America to work with him to see that His Holiness' voice is reflected, unadulterated. So I was sent for that purpose. I worked there with Professor Portman for 5 days. And all 5 evenings, by the way, recently he passed away. He's an amazing person. He passed away. And all 5 evenings he entertained me so kindly. And one evening was to meet with the psychologist. And he asked me to introduce myself, what I'm doing, what kind of psychology. So I just explained to him all these things to stop all our problems, all our mental problems. And one psychologist raised her hand, said that, but this is not possible. What is said is not possible to be accomplished. Because Charles Darwin said that we have some emotions. We have some emotions like attachment, anger, jealousy, and fear. these emotions, number one, we cannot get rid of them. Because these emotions are what we inherit, they're instincts. Do you agree? These emotions are instincts, number one. Number two, that we acquire these emotions. These instincts, how we develop these emotions since 4 billion years. How old is planet Earth? How old is planet Earth? 4.6 billion years. 4.6 billion years is the age of the planet Earth. And how old is the organism on planet Earth? 4 billion years. The first unicellular organism came to planet Earth 4 billion years ago. With the formation of water on the planet Earth, after the planet Earth cooled down from being separate, exploded from the sun. These 8 planets, 9 planets, they all exploded from the sun. Sun exploded from the Milky Way galaxy. And the Milky Way galaxy exploded from the Big Bang. So this is the origin of the universe. So 4 billion years ago, our first ancestor, the unicellular organism, 4 billion years ago. So that was the first ancestor. That was the living creature. So from that, then the living creatures become more and more complex, developed, and today, very complicated body can be. And the medical doctors, neuroscientists, they know how sophisticated our body is, so sophisticatedly developed. So it took this number of years, 4 billion years, for these sophisticated emotions to arise. So these are instincts, number one. Therefore, we cannot do anything, we cannot get rid of things, number one. First justification. Number two justification. What Charles Darwin said is that we require these emotions for our survival of the species. So it's known as survival of the fittest. So only those who are fit can survive. So how to remain fit, competitive, that you don't die, is by these emotions. Attachment for the things which you require, aversion to those things which are non-conducive for your survival, and fear to run away from threats. For example, a tiger comes and you smile, it'll eat you up. Your species is gone. Whereas a tiger comes, fear arises. This is a mechanism which will allow you to run. You run and your life is protected and the species will continue. So to continue species is the purpose of our existence. So for Charles Darwin, these emotions are so important, required for your the continuation of species, and also that these are instincts that we cannot get rid of them. So this is Charles Darwin's presentation with respect to whether or not your emotions can be managed completely. According to him, it's not possible. It's not possible that we can possibly manage our emotions perfectly. No. But the Buddha taught, what the great Indian saints in the past, like the Samkhya, Vedanta, Vaisheshik, Nyaya, Mimamsaka, and the Jainism, and likewise Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism. Hinduism is all about these classes, those positions, and Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and then Sikhism, and the Baha'i, Zoroastrianism. All these, they talk about managing the emotions. So, how to manage this? If there's a possibility. To say, no, it's not manageable. It's the easiest thing, and you will forever continue to suffer. It's the easiest thing to say. But if you say, yes, it can be managed, then the next question is, how? When somebody asks you how, you have to give the answer. Then you are thinking. This is when your thought process becomes more sophisticated. Okay, next question is, how? Okay, so how to manage emotions? So here, I presented 5 ways, and see that as I would say that as clinical psychologist, it's so important to know all these 5. How the emotions are managed. The first is building the power and gravity of concentration. Say, what is emotion? For example, somebody says that you stupid, right? In the public. Someone said, and then pointed to you in public and said, you stupid, you're a thief. What happened to you? Huh? What happened to you? You feel upset? Very sad. Whole night you will not sleep, I know. Whole night you will not sleep, and you will cry in front of your parents, you will cry in front of your brother, sister, I know. You're getting it? You are so disturbed by this, even this, just one word. One word, your mind is pushed. Your mind is like a cotton. Your mind is not like a diamond. If a diamond wind blows, the diamond will thrown away or will stay there. It's still there, the gravity is there. But the cotton wind blows, it'll push. You stupid, and although you have a huge body, and you stupid, one word can throw you out. You cannot even attend the class. No, I can't attend class. Look, this person said like this person said like this. I'm moved off. I'll complain this, that. And then you must say, oh, no, calm down. What, calm down? You might more. Oh, calm down. You should interfere more. So look, this is how weak we are. So it's why we are weak. We don't know how to manage our emotion. Concentration. Just focus, okay, just ignore. My mind should build the gravity, number one. This is the first training. Number two, reflect on the realities of life such as ephemerality. For example, like say, ephemerality means impermanence. This is all. Number two is building the cognitive power. To know that things are impermanent. For example, say I came here before you're born. So now, say, except for Dr. Nandaji, right, and everyone's new. Everyone's new, this impermanence. And sometimes if you don't see the impermanence, the problem is that, for example, say in the olden times, even today, in the metro, how many come by metro residents? How many come by metro residents? Even the metro, say, what do you call it? One station to the next station, only 5 minutes. And you jump the rush there to get a seat. And the person jumps and you go so angry, keep fighting. And by the time your fight is incomplete, it's not complete yet, and your destination already came, still you're fighting. And you miss your destination. It happens. You're getting it? 4 or 5 loop. You don't see the impermanence. What's here? It's just 5 minutes to the next station. If the person jumps, you let him jump. It's fine. Ignore this, and then your time will be saved. Your blood pressure will not rise. Whereas, look, this is where you think the broader reality of the world, like impermanence. You become very grounded. Things will not affect you easily. Number two. Number three, universal compassion. Practice universal compassion. There are techniques. It's just be compassionate. So that, for example, say, who's happier? Well, the naughty boy making the wall dirty with the sketch pencils. Who's happier? The mother or the neighbor? With the naughty boy, young little boy, age 5 or 6, making the wall dirty with a pencil, who is more unhappy? The neighbor or the mother? Huh? The mother. Which means you have no experience. You will see this when you become mother. Huh? Neighbor, you're getting it? Neighbor, how dare you make my wall dirty? Mother will say, this is a painting of my child. The mother will say, this is a painting of my child. And the neighbor, how dare you make my wall dirty? You're getting it? And then the neighbor rushes to the mother and says that you have to teach your child how not to, to dirty somebody else's wall. You do not teach etiquette. So irritated, but the mother is so calm. It's a painting. It's because of the compassion. So we learn how to practice compassion with others. Your mind will be at ease, your emotions are managed. The next, reflecting on the relativistic reality. For example, let's say, the relativist reality. Say, how many you are in PG? PG meaning? Paying guests? Paying guests, presents. How in a PG? Yeah, that's okay. So you're in a PG. Paying guest, not a postgraduate. And what do you say? You're a neighbor who plays a loud music on Sundays. Who plays a loud music. Sunday is the only day I can sleep for longer. And now this neighbor is a nasty neighbor. He does some incense. He's making spoil my sleep Sunday. And then I wish that he evicts and he evicts, he leaves the place. And finally, after 1 month, you got news that your neighbors will be evicted. What do you feel? Wow, now my Sunday is mine. But then your landlord is not going to keep the room empty. Somebody will occupy. That person not only plays music on Sunday, also throws garbage into your door. Then you will miss the early neighbor. You're getting it? It's all relativity. If you learn to see things in relativist way, your mind will not be thrown into extremes. Extreme happiness and extreme sadness. This fluctuation will be removed. You become a very stable person. That's the practice of being reflecting on the relativist reality. And finally, inside an ontological reality, waking up from skill of fitness. I'll give an example. This is very important. Then I'll stop here and I will entertain questions from you. Of course, there are more materials. But during this time, I would like to listen to your questions. Okay, let's say. Let's put it like this. I am very unhappy. Okay, so we are all working so hard preparing for a program. The program, a psychology department program, and we work for like 3-4 hours in stretch until Delhi in the month of June. What's the temperature? 43, 44, 45. And that day is 46. Sometimes once in a while 47. 47, still we don't have any water to drink. Working so hard, and then you are just saying, oh, Professor Urmila, not giving us even water. We're working so hard, right? And then from a corner, there's room in a corner, and you thought that, oh, I could hear some noise like this. Like this noise, there must be somebody there. Then you knock at the door. How are you doing? Louder. What did you hear? Somebody said in that house, somebody said, I am very unhappy. You're getting it? I feel so sorry. Yes, I'm also very unhappy. No water, nothing playing, working so hard for 3 hours. And then you open the door and ask, are you the one who are unhappy? You say, no, I'm very happy. I just said I. Now what about you? You must be unhappy. I just said and, very, and then what do you say? And what do you say? And she said, no, I'm very happy. I just said P. You know what P is? Well, you know what P is? She said, I just said P. No, I'm very happy. I just said P. Then what do you start to think? Oh, I must be hallucinating. I must have a mental problem. Mental health issue, right? And then you go to Urmilaji. You go to Urmilaji, just check if I'm hallucinating. I heard somebody said, I am very unhappy, but I went there. Nobody said it. Right? Dr. Urmilaji, can you be my witness? Yes, we can. And then we knock the door. How are you? Louder.
I am very unhappy.
What did you hear? Somebody said, I am very unhappy. Dr. Urmilaji, am I hallucinating? He said, no, you're not hallucinating. It's just perfect. We heard it. Then we got into it, and then nobody said it. But you undeniably heard somebody said, I am very unhappy. You getting it? Okay, so, but objectively you go there, nobody said it. Subjectively in your mind, subjectively you heard, undeniably you heard somebody said, I am very unhappy. You getting it? So, where is this? The undeniable reality. The word, the collection of words, we said, I'm very unhappy, very sad. Is it from the object or from the subject? This is how all our stress, anxiety, anguish work. Okay, I'm not, now, look, my brother's not getting through UPS exam. I'm not getting through UPS exam. What is this? It's just a train of thought processes combined together. I am not getting through the UPSC exam. All these, how many? 11 words are there. 11 moments of your mind are there. Peaceful moments of your mind are there. And the first man said, I finished, left. Second moment came and said, and left. The rest of the moment said, yet to come. And last moment step, SC, UPSC. And left. No mind in you said, I'm unhappy with UPSC exam competition. No mind said it, but you subjectively, you put all these moments together and you create the illusion that I'm thinking I'm very unhappy with UPSC competition exam. You get it? Then you want to say that, oh, I've gone through UPSC exam, unpleasant feeling. Hey, I'll just sit for the UPSC exam, pleasant, unpleasant. Unpleasant feeling comes. That unpleasant feeling, you like it or you don't like it. You don't like it. Okay, let me give an example. Say that, okay, to make it easier, say that you're dreaming. Okay, you're sleeping. And you say, what time you get up? Okay, don't tell me. Don't tell me, maybe 7?
Depends on classes, 7, 8.
Okay, 7. She's more honest. Okay, others will be, oh, he may think that I'm getting so late. Okay, so let's say that you're getting up at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock. Is anybody who's getting up at 6 o'clock? Okay, 6 o'clock. Let's say 6 o'clock, right? And the 7 people, it'll be even easier for us. 6 o'clock. And your mother opens your door and says, hey, my daughter. And then she opens the door at 5 o'clock. You get up 6 o'clock. Which means that you are now deprived of 1 hour sleep. Your mother stands door and says, happy birthday, my son, my daughter. You get it? And she's holding something in her hand. Happy birthday. She's holding something. Okay. So what did you do? You're still in sleep. You heard something. What did you do? You are not too clear. You know that your mom said that happy birthday, which means she must be carrying a present for you. And then you see something that your mom is holding. And what do? But you're not seeing so clearly because your eyes are still blurry. So what do? You rub your eyes. Okay, so let me see if, okay, here. The first, you come in contact with what your mother is holding, contact. And then you're not seeing what it is. So what do? You rub your eyes for number 2, attention. With the attention, then you see that it's a brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max. Happy or not happy? Hey, what happened? You're not excited with iPhone 17. Brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max. 18 years yet to come. So you said that, and then what happens? Discrimination is that, oh, it's not just an ordinary mobile, it's brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max. Then what happens to the feeling? Pleasant, unpleasant? Where is pleasant feeling come? You like the pleasant feeling or not? You want the pleasant feeling, so you want to sustain it. You want to prolong this. How to sustain this? By embracing the triggers of pleasant feeling. What's the trigger of pleasant feeling? Brand new iPhone 17 Pro Max. This is a trigger. So next is intention. Intention to go to embrace the mobile. You getting it? Then you got it. You got it. You look at it. It's a piece of chocolate. What happened? You throw this. Why? Now you come in contact with the object very closely. You pay attention. It's just mobile. Chocolate is chocolate. Just condition chocolate. Feeling pleasant, unpleasant feeling. Unpleasant feeling. You want the unpleasant feeling or not? I don't want unpleasant feeling. So what do? You will terminate unpleasant. How to terminate unpleasant feeling? By terminating the trigger of the unpleasant feeling. What is the trigger of unpleasant feeling? Chocolate. You throw the chocolate. You throw it. Don't spoil my morning. Right? You throw intention to reject it. So your mind rejects. For example, somebody is nasty in your classroom, or somebody is not being nice, or you have any kind of problems, or young person that you have your problems. I know. So you know what I'm saying. You're getting it? Okay. So with these problems, say the unpleasant feeling arises. And this unpleasant feeling will make the intention to push whosoever triggers unpleasant feeling. So with this if this push intention, the push is intense, it becomes anxiety. If the push becomes corrosive, it can become hostile. If the push can last for long, it can become depression. So how to heal this? If you want to heal these mental states, like the, say for instance, anxiety, anguish, depression, so forth, you have to fix the intention. How to fix the intention? Intention by fixing the feeling. What's before that? Unpleasant feeling, you make it pleasant feeling. How to fix this feeling? By changing the discrimination. To teach how to think properly. Cognitively, teach how to think properly. How to change it? By changing attention contact. Contact with the correct information, complete information, and systematic information. So with these three things, then your contact and attention makes your discrimination very rich and profound. With this, the feeling is invariably going to be pleasant feeling. And because of pleasant feeling, your mind will not reject, your mind will embrace. Embracing is healing. Embrace is healing. That is how the healing takes place. So healing somebody from depression, anxiety, and so forth. Okay, this is the mechanism. Just let me quickly go through what I have here. Okay. So this is a conference on my life about psychology. This is Holiness presented here. Okay, so I stop here and I'd like to invite some questions. Okay, any questions? Raise hands. We have a few minutes. Yes.
Is it possible to entirely change my mind so that it does not disturb my efforts to live a harmonious life and that it helps me in the process of spiritual evolution?
Okay,
Can I cultivate a mind which is free from jealousy, anger, hatred, and only thinks and feel of good for others?
Answer is 100% possible. So for this, it works with these, but it's one of the 5 ever-present mental factors: contact, attention, discrimination, feeling, and perception. Just work with this. So I just made it very short. Otherwise, the next question is, they finally say, with the jealousy, what's the feeling like, pleasant or unpleasant? Very unpleasant it becomes. Being judgmental is not pleasant. So, anger, not pleasant. Shouting at a mother is not pleasant. How many shouted at your mother? Raise hands. Be very honest. How many shouted at your mother? Be very honest. Mother said, "Hey, my daughter, my son, cup of tea." What cup of tea? No cappuccino, no latte, no what? Okay, espresso, americano, no, nothing. Only tea. What is tea? How many said it? Raise hands. Stop those things. You're getting it? You have to stop those things. So these are coming because of the bad intention. Wrong intention. Wrong intention. Because wrong intention. How to change the wrong intention? By changing the feeling from when the mother says, "Hey, cup of tea, my daughter, my son, cup of tea." So I'm so lucky that I have a mother here. So many people, they don't have a person to call my mom. I have a mom. And not only that, she's out of love, she's giving me tea. If I go to other places, I have to pay money to the tea stall keeper. Tea sellers, you have to pay money, does not give for free, does not come to the chef to do that. Nobody say this. But my mother is doing it so kind. So, feeling is changed from unpleasant feeling to the pleasant feeling. How to change the feeling? By discrimination. Cognitively thinking that I'm so lucky that my mom is here with me. I'm so lucky that my mom is offering me tea. A neighbor, if I go there, who are you? Forget about serving you tea. If somebody is somewhere, so when you're very thirsty, somebody tea you, he's the best person in the world. But your mother has been doing every day, and you never felt that she's the best person in the world. So this is where we need to change the discrimination. How to change discrimination? Changing the attention and contact. Contact with the correct information, complete information, and systematic information. You getting it? For example, let's say how. I'll give you an example. By the information, by the correct information, complete information, systematic information. With these three things, your discrimination will be changed. When the discrimination change, what will change? Feelings will be changed. When the feelings change, then intention will be changed. Intention will not push. people embrace. Embraces healing. When the healing takes place on the psychological level, your immunity builds up. Your immunity becomes strong. When the immunity is strong, you will not contract the diseases easily. You getting it? And then you might even not have to go to gyms. How many go to gyms? Yes, you go to gyms, and then meanwhile what happens is that mentally you're very unhappy. Your health will keep going down. Although you spend like 10,000 rupees per month, plus when the gym is pleasant or unpleasant. When unpleasant, many people they don't succeed in going here. They give the money for free. And then go to day one, they finish. And all the remaining money goes to the gym owner for free. Because this is what, because it's not that easy. So this is where you keep your mind healthy. Go to gym, it's very precious. Go to gym. So biologically speaking, your muscles not become stronger by cognitively becoming more smart and keeping your mind emotional managed. But your health-wise, pathological diseases, they will all stop when your mind is sound, because immunity builds up. And immunity is the mechanism which fights all the diseases. Next question. Yes, over here.
Sir, so my question is actually my topic is somewhere around the mind. So like it's not really, it's a question but also like it's a contemplation that is going on in my head. Sir, so the first thing like what I have like so far understood of mind, because it's so difficult to conceptualize. So like one definition that I found like which really connected is like assigning mind to someone else. Let's say like I have a mind of my own, so like I am treating you as a person who has a mind. So that was a definition that fit. But like when you got your own understanding
This
of
is not a definition, this is more like a technique.
Yes, sir.
Technique for you to feel the mind. It's not a definition, these are different. For example, like say, what is glass? What is a tumbler? Versus what's the mechanism by which I can get a glass? These two are very different.
Yes, sir.
So yours one is more like a mechanism to feel connected with the mind is. Yes, then?
It gets like easier to study that way.
Perfect, perfect. But at the same time, don't confine yourself to only one system. I told you about it. Maintain an open mind. We're getting it? Maintain an open mind. Learn from Hinduism. Learn from Christianity. Learn from Islam. Learn from Sikhism. Learn from Buddhism. Learn from Jainism. Learn from Freud. Learn from the Carl Jung. Learn from any other psychological things. Many of things they are more similar, and then that's very easy. Then you will get to see some unique features. Just see if these presentations resonate with the reality. Finally, no blind faith. Don't faith. For example, say I am not 16 years old, and I'm not 21 years old. How many are 21 years old? Isn't 21, 22, 23? Okay, let's say 22, 23. I'm not 23 years old. Oh, looking at you, wow, it's nice to be 23 years old. I'm also 23 years old. This is exaggeration. You get it? Don't ever exaggerate. You must ground things on facts. You must have facts to understand what reality is. If you exaggerate, you will never see the reality. So therefore, these are the means, but means to get to the facts. You have to get the facts. So there are various traditions who try to present the facts and see if they're really facts or not. Then you have to check. There are many systems. Don't confine yourself to one system. Very good. Next question.
So,
Here.
Sir, I want to ask, for example, we have external problems, so we look on our internal side. But what if the problem is something internal? For example, autoimmune diseases that come from within. And they say that acceptance is the only way to actually deal with it. But how is one supposed to ignore the complete fact that whenever there is a flare-up or whenever there is another stressful situation, that there will be suffering, there will be some reaction from the within, which sometimes people have no control over. And
No, you are touching many areas. Touch one area.
so,
Autoimmune disorder. You want to touch this?
not disorder, but probably the acceptance part. How is one supposed to?
Okay, good question. Again, it works on the same principle. For example, say I have an autoimmune disorder. This is a genetic disorder. Say I have a genetic disorder. I have this already. Let's say I already have it. Now I say, oh, I don't have that. I change the discrimination. No. If the discrimination is based on facts, you're getting it? Facts. The fact is that I have autoimmune disorder. I cannot say that, oh no, I have no autoimmune, just imagine you don't have autoimmune. No, it doesn't work. I have it. Let's say, I have it. Now, acceptance. Many people say this is the only way. You have to accept it. Why don't you make it positive? For example, like say, I have garbage. The only thing that I have is everybody has a very nice handkerchiefs, very expensive handkerchiefs, and I have this was very dirty, faded, right? Why don't I make it very special? Why don't I make it very special? Tell the world that this all newly made, this is the old one. You go to the museum. It's a museum artifact. You're getting it? It's a museum artifact. Museum artifact is more precious, or new ones are more precious. Museum artifact is more expensive. You can charge easily $1 million. But the regular ones 10 rupees. So make it very special. You have autoimmune disorder, right? You have autoimmune disorder. There are so many good things you have. For example, you have parents to support you. You have brothers to support you. You have medical facilities nowadays. You have doctors to communicate. For example, the food, autoimmune disorder with this, sometimes you may find it very difficult to go out in the winter. Go out, it's cold, will affect so badly. So, then the online. Oh, we are so lucky. We are so lucky now. I'm in Delhi. I'm going to online food. I can do food online. I'm so lucky. When you say I'm so lucky, are you happy or not happy? Hey, tell me. Very happy. It's not acceptance, more than acceptance. It's beautiful. You getting it? It's beautiful. I'm so lucky, very happy. When you're happy, what happens? Happy hormones flow in your body. Happy hormones fix your body. Even the autoimmune disorder, what a percentage? What is the degree now? It can go from okay to worse very fast, or you can control it. In some cases, if your thing is so positive, you can even fix it. Like this. It's not only acceptance. Acceptance is a very weak way of dealing with it. In a way, no hope. Just accept it. No, there's some beautiful ways to tackle it. I'm so lucky. There are so many supporters with me. In olden times, even if I have to get information of autoimmune disorder, I cannot get information. I cannot get it. It's not within the reach of my finger. I just move my body. All the information comes there. So in the early days, you have to go to people and somebody who's expert in autoimmune is so less. And they're too big that I don't get access to them now. So these are so lucky. You getting it? There are so many ways to look at things where number one, the autoimmune disorder can be slowed down. The pace at which it is degenerating, it can be slowed down by letting happy hormones flow. Oxytocin, endorphin, dopamine. That will flow so fast, but be positive. You're getting it? Now, and on top of that, if you are being really, really very smart with letting this happen, even though autoimmune can be fixed. Fixed, doesn't mean it's not just acceptance. Acceptance is a very weak way to do that. In a way, saying there's no hope, just accept it. No, there are many better things to do. Last question.
So I have.
Last question. Anyone else? Last us here.
So I feel that the illusion of permanence is what keeps us going to achieve the goals in life. And you emphasized on the awareness of impermanence. How do we embrace it without being aloof towards our goals in life?
Wow. Okay, things are all impermanent. What's the point of going to study? What's the point of going to department, psychology department? It's impermanent. Okay, this is one way to look at it. Okay, at the moment I'm a student. I want to be an HOD of department. You're getting, even my being student is impermanent. You will not remain as a student all the time. I'll study well, and I'll change it from the student to the professor to the HOD, and then one day to the vice chancellor, and one day to the secretary general of UNO. You're getting it? Because it's impermanent. So it's a knife. Very good. You use it to stab it, or cut vegetables, make things beautiful. It's entirely in your hands, your motivation. Thank you.
Today's insights shared by the Venerable were immensely thought-provoking and awe-inspiring, and are bound to stay with us beyond this hall. I would now like to invite a research scholar, Geshe, to kindly share the learnings imbibed on behalf of the student body of the Department of Psychology.
I think it's good morning or rather good afternoon. Yeah. Good afternoon to everyone and especially today's invited speaker. I'm here to present a vote of appreciation on behalf of the students of the Department of Psychology. To begin with, as the speaker mentioned, that we are witnessing a paradigm shift in the field of psychology, where we see there's a crisis in academic psychology. So at a time when we have crisis and the paradigm shift is happening because of the emergence of quantum physics and the Einsteinian physics, to have a lecture on Buddhist psychology is like having a new beginning in the field of psychology, first of all. Secondly, how the speaker interconnected the domains of the outer and inner in affecting our states of mind and also emotions, and the role of taking care of the inner self in managing our stress, emotions and various forms of psychological disorders. And one of the insights that I derived from your lectures is how ultimately, more or less, the pull and push of the ego is the problem of our life. The I is the problem in everything. And one of the tenets of Buddhist psychology is in fact to completely wipe out the I and live a life with the mind sans. Sans means without a center called I. And the most important, I think, insights and learnings that we can take from this lecture as psychology students is waking from the sleep state of our own mind. That is to say, largely our mind functions from a default, compulsive, repetitive, mechanical mind. And that's what in Buddhist psychology is called a sleep state of mind. And by practicing mindfulness, we could probably wake up from the sleep, cyclical, mechanical state of mind, and we could have what is called a meditative mind, and perhaps that can help us in a way to deal with the problems of the inner world and as well as the outer world. Because after all, the outer is the inner, world is the construction of how we behave here and now. That's how we create the world. And lastly, the important emphasis by the speaker, the interlinkage between the contact, attention, discrimination, feeling and intention. By the practice of mindfulness, if we can take care of all these interlinkages of mind, how the mind interacts with people, objects, and in the reactions of the minds, in terms of thoughts and feelings, and the application of mindfulness in the moment to change the thinking patterns of the mind, thereby helping the mind to remain in the present. If this can be probably imbibed in our daily life, I think probably we all can contribute in having a harmonious and compassionate world, I suppose. So, in a nutshell, Buddhist psychology is all about practical psychology, I suppose, and it's all about integrating the learnings in our day-to-day life. I think that can transform our life. Thank you.
Okay, one clarification required is, say, the ego, as in the Sigmund Freud psychology, ego, and the ego in the conventional sense, and the I, these distinctions we can make. In Buddhism, the I is very important. I is not to be wiped out. I is very important. This I has a tremendous capacity to go for others. I will go for others, like Mahatma Gandhi. I will work for the welfare of my nation. Welfare of my, in those days, like 200 million Indians. Now it's 1 billion Indians. In those days, I will work for the 200 million Indians. It's very precious. I will work for my own money, for my power. This is wrong. So that is ego. So in Buddhism, ego and I, this I per se is nothing wrong. Ego is a problem. So we have to wipe out the ego, but the ego as per Sigmund Freud, that ego and the ego convention and discuss is very destructive. We need to make distinction. The Buddhism tries to remove the destructive ego. This distinction, otherwise what the scholar was said, he put it so nicely. Thank you.
As we have reached the last leg of the session, I would now like to invite our head, Professor Urminanda Biswas, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the Department of Psychology, on behalf of my colleagues and my dear students in India, we are very thankful to Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul for coming to the department and telling you briefly and very in simple language about the Buddhist philosophy and Buddhist psychology. As a department, we would like to take it further in future, sir, but I propose the vote of thanks from the Department of Psychology for coming here and joining us. I also thank all my dear students for coming for this session, and I believe that you have some takeaways from the this lecture. And it was a great teaching, great lesson for us also, because you gave very good examples and gave them active and very relatable things. So for all of our colleagues, it is a great example, illustrious lecture. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you all of you. Thank you, my colleagues, and thank you the delegates. There are you who have come from outside. We have never met.
We came from Ladakh. We are from Ladakh.
Is it?
Yeah.
He is the chief medical doctor of Ladakh Government Hospital. Chief medical doctor.
Oh, I see. Thank you for coming to the department, and we welcome you to the department. And whenever you are around, you are welcome to visit us.
Thank you.
So thank you very much.